Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you what I ate in a whole day while I was home from work, of course. Before we move any further, why don't you go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my plant-based inspiration. So I started my Saturday morning off with my favorite drink. If you've been following me for a while, I have shared in previous videos that I have given coffee a rest for now. I don't want to say I've abandoned it completely because I always seem to make my way back, but for now I've been going without coffee. So I've been making this lovely coffee replacement every morning. It has some mushroom powder or a little mushroom tincture for great cognitive function effects. I've noticed a difference in that for sure. Some cacao. I use a little bit of matcha, and let's see what else. Oh, some turmeric, some black pepper, and some cayenne and maple syrup in my Joy oat milk powder. It is divine, absolutely divine. I look forward to it every morning. I'm going to start the day with making a casserole, a quinoa casserole. Now, might sound a little crazy to some of you, but my binding agent for this quinoa casserole is actually going to be applesauce. This is an organic, one ingredient applesauce. It's the only way I will buy it. I won't buy it with any added ingredients at all. And so I just start with a cup of quinoa, and I put this in a large bowl. I'll find out eventually this bowl is not large enough. Add some water, some plant milk, which you see that I was using my Joy oat milk powder. If you want to try any of Joy's products, it's a one ingredient plant milk base. They have all the different flavors. I will be sure to link that below, as well as a 10% off code. That way you can try it at a discount. They have any of the flavors like cashew, almond, oat is my favorite, and that's their instant oat powder, so it's even easier. Than you don't even have to blend it like you used to. You can just mix it like you saw that I did. I've got a bag of veggies. I think I used 2 bags of frozen veggies. I got my little helper here. So this bowl ended up being too small, and since the veggies were frozen that I was using for this quinoa bake, I had to put this in a bigger pot. There we go. Added my quinoa, my plant milk, and my cup of water and my frozen veggies, and put this all in my beautiful vintage Corningware dish. Thank you, Mother. I've been loving using these. She was going to get rid of a lot of these, and I'm like, no, I have to keep these. I don't know, aren't they nostalgic to you? Like if you've seen your mother's Corningware, like I just had to keep it. So it was perfect for this dish. Look, here is my ingredients all in the pan, or the container rather. I made me another cup of cacao. So this was just cacao and oat milk, and that's after I baked it. This was baked for an hour. Look at that. It's beautiful colors. I've been doing beans and veggies all week long for breakfast, and so I wanted to continue that similar style eating for this Saturday that I'm showing you my food while I'm at home. I get to cook more when I'm home and not at work, so I put a little more effort into it most times, just because I can. And so I'm gonna load up with some veggies as well. Wanted to show you how important it is to drink your water. I drink only alkaline water or real spring water, mostly alkaline water, because the real spring water is more hard to come by and more expensive in my case where I live. So anyways, but that's a whole nother video. So there's me getting excited to eat this feast of food. I've got my fresh steamed broccoli. Again, I'm like, so the broccoli girl, it's my favorite veggie. I don't feel I'll ever get tired of it. If I haven't by now, I don't think I ever will. I didn't quite know how to get into this quinoa bake, so I'm cutting it first. But once I saw kind of the consistency and texture, you could really just scoop this out with a spoon and place it on the plate. I'm loving all the colors. Now, of course, the idea is to get lots of non-starchy veggies in, and technically speaking, corn is a starchy veggie, as well as carrots are semi-starchy, and then peas are also starchy. So, I mean, I've got the green beans, but I'm cutting this in half with my green broccoli here. Isn't this pretty? Love all the colors. It just pops. And yeah, so unfortunately I did not have my yellow bird hot sauce. I hate to say even unfortunate because this is still great. It had great flavors, but I would have really loved my hot sauce on this. I need to like keep one at work and keep one at home, but I left it at work, so I'll get to use it for my leftovers. I've shared this with y'all in the past. These are my supplements. I do B12 every day without fail. Now, if I have a day that I don't go outside, which is, I always like to get at least 15 minutes in the sun, then I'll take my vitamin D, but these are plant-based, made out of whole food vitamins. I'll link them below so you can try them out. I ended up adding some of my favorite brand of hummus to this, which is the Oasis brand. It's actually extremely affordable and it's oil-free. I get it from Natural Grocers. It's my favorite. I've not found one that tops it. It's so good. I split a little banana and oat milk and earth chimp smoothie with Berkeley. I just wanted a little bit. I wanted something sweet. And I also had a cup of, what is this, green and peppermint tea with a splash of oat milk. I love tea. Now it's later in the day and I'm going to make a awesome soup. I found the inspiration on Instagram for this soup from a beautiful soul. She goes by the username of oil-free witchy vegan. So she has the most beautiful pictures of food and makes lovely oil-free dishes and shares them with everyone online. And so this is literally a blender soup. I knew that when she posted this, I just had that feeling, like my gut was like, this soup is gonna be so good. I have to make it. Everything inside me knew that it would be amazing. And it was so simple. So it was a can of fire roasted tomatoes with some, you can really do any mixture here you want, but I followed her mixture with some frozen peas and some frozen onions and carrots, and I had some canned carrots already, so that worked out. I had most of the ingredients already. I didn't have the frozen onion and I didn't have the mushroom, but I ordered some groceries to get a couple other things that I needed, as well as some more things for the soup. And I made sure to get organic fire roasted tomatoes, because organic is best for tomatoes, only because tomatoes are on the Dirty Dozen list. Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen is when you have a set of produce that is suggested that you buy it organic because it tends to be highly sprayed. And then your other list is the clean stuff you don't have to worry about buying organic. And so I've got some veggie broth. It is an oil-free veggie broth. Cleaned out the can as you saw with the veggie broth. That way I could get the rest of that juice from the fire roasted tomatoes. And I'm just taking my produce and rinsing it off if it wasn't a can, adding it to the soup. I was waiting for my grocery order to come. It hadn't come at this point, but I was getting everything prepped and ready and trying not to splatter, trying my best not to splatter, but of course I did. I don't ever measure garlic. I just topple it into whatever I'm making because I feel like you can't have enough of it, truly. And so I blended or mixed everything together with my spoon. And this is also going to call for some potatoes. That's why you saw me peeling those potatoes at the beginning. I had preheated those, and I'll show you what I do with those in a bit. Here is the grocery order. I'm here hunting down my mushrooms. I think I opened every bag besides the one that had the mushrooms in it. There it is, found it. So I just got canned mushrooms, no big deal. Just got these and rinsed them off. And I'm gonna put them all just as they are into the soup and mix it a little more. That way all the flavors can soak in. I cooked this for probably maybe like 15 minutes. I didn't really put a timer on it, and I always use a timer, but there was no set time in her instructions, so I figured it was just until they got nice and warm and boiled and simmered for a bit, because these are going to be blended anyways. Snacking on a banana and a mini cucumber. The fruit and veg is just perfect for snacking for anybody, really, just because it's a whole food. So I poured this into the blender. So here's my peeled potatoes that you saw I was peeling the skin off of earlier. Plopped a couple of these in here. I don't have a high-speed blender. I do have one somewhere, but I have a piece missing to it, so I still use this Old Faithful, just basic blender. Blended it up and it came into this thick consistency. So I've got all those veggies, the yummy flavors, and I poured what I blended first into another bowl and then added more into the blender, added some more potatoes. Looks kind of salsa-y, doesn't it? And I'm trying my hardest here not to splatter. Of course, it's not truly avoidable. And here is the thick and hearty soup. I've also got 2 golden potatoes. Those were regular potatoes I had before, the ones that were about to go bad, so I made sure to utilize those that I put in the soup. I even got my fancy bowl out for this, my pretty colorful bowls, and I scooped it up. I can't tell you how good this sauce was. I added some pink salt, but I almost would bet you don't even need any pink salt in this, or any at all. She made this without salt because she's salt-free. But I'm telling you, just the flavor from the fire roasted tomatoes, the garlic, and all the veggies complemented each other just so nicely. Look at this. Isn't it beautiful? It would also make an excellent, excellent pasta sauce. Oh my gosh, y'all, it was so good. So I always say this, but I'm like, when I make a really good soup, I'm like, this is the best soup I've ever made. Well, this is definitely one of them. Just the flavors went so well together, and this is so many veggies and then a little bit of potatoes, so it's nice and hearty and filling, and I can't even tell you all the different nutrients that are in this because there's so many of them. And so at the end of the night, I wanted to try to recreate, Broccoli Mom had done a banana chocolate sushi roll. And so I had tried to get some spring roll papers in my grocery order, but they were out. So I have these nori seaweed rolls. I'm going to attempt it with that. Had some black rice in my pantry. Black rice is so healthy. It's got tons of benefits. If you haven't tried black rice, I would suggest giving it a try. So I sauteed this with veggie broth. That way I wasn't sauteing it in oil like the directions said. And then it actually has me pour boiling water over the sauteed rice. I'd never done that before, and you're supposed to let it cook for 25 minutes. Here's my nori seaweed rolls, and I'm going to make a simple chocolate sauce, just adding some cacao with some maple syrup and a little splash of alkaline water. Just very, very simple, mixing it together, and it was really yummy to taste. With me eating so many savory meals this week, the sweetness was really, really nice. I'm also making my nighttime cacao drink that I add turmeric and black pepper to. It's so good. My rice wasn't quite done when the timer went off, so I let it cook for a little while longer till all that water evaporated. And I'm going to enjoy my nice little beverage. I love having this before bed because it's just so comforting. It's so, so comforting. So I've got my pan here. I laid out my nori seaweed wrap, and I'm just going to spread a layer of the black rice over the seaweed wrap. It looks pretty now, right? So many nutrients, the seaweed and the banana that will go inside of it. I've got a nice nice amount of iodine here. So I'm rolling it up. Got my chocolate sauce on top. Everything looks good. And it actually tastes amazing, by the way. It tastes so good. Only difficulty arises with doing it like this is that the fact that if you put it in really hot, it just wilts the nori. So maybe I should have let the rice cool because it didn't hold, but it doesn't matter. It tasted amazing. It's like reality versus, like Instagram versus reality. So that was my reality. It was still tasted so good. Nice whole food plant-based snack. Just didn't stay together. Make sure to give this video a like if you watched all the way through, and thank you so much for being here. Have a great day.